The doorbell chimes through my quiet Saturday morning like an unwelcome alarm. I glance at the clock, 8:17 a.m., and set down my coffee mug with a soft clink against the granite countertop. Who visits at this hour in Cary, North Carolina, where neighbors respect the sanctity of weekend mornings? I pad across the hardwood floors, tightening the belt of my plush robe. Through the peephole, I see nothing. Whoever rang must be short. A solicitor's child, perhaps? When I open the door, two small boys stand on my porch like miniature travelers waiting at the wrong gate. The taller one, maybe 9, shifts his weight from foot to foot, fingers working the strap of his faded blue backpack. Beside him, a younger boy, kindergarten age at most, clutches a worn stuffed dog missing one plastic eye. Both carry overnight bags. Hello? I manage, scanning the empty driveway behind them. The older boy clears his throat. Mom said you'd take care of us while she's away. His voice sounds rehearsed, like he's reciting lines for a school play. I stare at them. The younger boy, Micah, I suddenly remember, sucks his thumb, dark eyes watching me with the wariness of a much older soul. Dawson? I say, recognizing my sister's oldest son. Where's your mother? Dawson shrugs, the practiced confidence slipping. She dropped us off. Said to give you this. He thrusts a folded paper into my hand. My fingers tremble as I unfold it. Julissa's looping handwriting crawls across the page. Blythe, needs some me time. Boys are yours till November. Keys to my apartment on Dawson's backpack if you need their stuff. Thanks, sis. The blood drains from my face. November? That's 9 weeks away. Come in, I whisper, stepping aside. The boys enter my immaculate living room, standing awkwardly on my cream-colored area rug like they're afraid to soil it. Have you had breakfast? I ask, reaching for normalcy. They shake their heads in unison. Sit down, I'll make something. I gesture toward the couch. They perch on the edge, backs straight, hands folded in their laps. Too well-behaved for children their age. In the kitchen, I grab my phone and punch in Julissa's number with shaking fingers. It rings 5 times before she answers. What the hell, Julissa? I hiss, turning away from the doorway where the boys might hear. Morning to you too, sis. Her voice sounds breezy, unconcerned. Background noise suggests she's in an airport. You can't just dump your children on my doorstep. It's just until November. You've got that big empty house anyway. A flight announcement echoes behind her voice. Athens, here I come. Athens? As in Greece? My knuckles whiten around the phone. You're leaving the country? Don't be so dramatic, Blythe. It's a 9-week retreat. I need this. And what about what your sons need? My voice rises despite my efforts to control it. I peek around the corner. The boys haven't moved an inch. They need stability for once. I continue, lowering my voice again. School starts Tuesday. They need... What they need, Julissa interrupts, is for their aunt to stop freaking out and make them some breakfast. Registration papers are in Dawson's backpack. Your address is already listed as their secondary residence. You planned this, I realize, stomach sinking. How long have you known you were going? Does it matter? Look, I got a board. Julissa, you can't... Actually, I can. And unless you want me to tell that fancy company of yours about how their uptight HR manager is bipolar and off her meds, you'll handle this. Ice water floods my veins. I'm not bipolar, you know that. Your boss doesn't. Gotta go. Kiss the boys for me. The line goes dead. I stand frozen, phone still pressed to my ear. Memories surface like bodies in a lake. 13-year-old me sitting at the dinner table while Mom fawned over Julissa's homecoming crown. Dad had left 5 years earlier, but somehow there was always money for Julissa's dresses, Julissa's cheerleading, Julissa's everything. We can only afford Julissa's college. You'll need to figure it out. Mom's voice matter-of-fact as if telling me we were out of milk. Meanwhile, Julissa partied through her freshman year before dropping out, the tuition money evaporating with her attendance. I slide the phone into my pocket and take a deep breath. 20 years of therapy reminds me that I control my response, if nothing else. The boys haven't touched anything, haven't even reached for the remote control. No childish curiosity, no exploration, just silent waiting. My HR manager position, my modest 3-bedroom house purchased at 27 after years of scrimping me, carefully constructed life upended by the chaos Julissa always brings. I pick up my phone again, dial Landon in Seattle. Despite the 3-hour time difference, he answers on the second ring. Blythe? Everything okay? His voice, warm with sleep, anchors me. I need advice, I say, watching the boys through the doorway. It's about Julissa. After explaining, I wait for his shocked response. Instead, he says, "What do you need from me right now?" My throat tightens. Just tell me I can handle this. You can handle anything, Blythe. No hesitation. And I'm here. When we hang up, I stand taller. In the guest bedroom, soon to be the boys' room, I strip the decorative pillows from the bed, pull fresh sheets from the linen closet. My fingers smooth the fabric with purpose, determination replacing shock. My sister has made her choice. Now it's time for me to make mine. Sunday morning sunlight streams through the guest room blinds, illuminating dust motes that dance above the sleeping boys. Micah curls against his brother, thumb lodged firmly in his mouth. Dawson's arm protects him even in sleep. My heart constricts at their instinctive protectiveness. Time to unpack their things. The backpacks and overnight bags wait in a forlorn pile by the dresser. I lift Dawson's faded blue backpack first, unzipping it with surgical precision to avoid waking them. School registration papers tumble out, already completed with my address and signature forged in a reasonable facsimile of my handwriting. Julissa had indeed planned this abandonment meticulously. Between folders and notebooks, I discover a crumpled field trip permission slip. Planetarium visit, payment due, the 12th of March, 3 months ago. The slip bears a teacher's neat handwriting. Second notice, please respond. My fingers tighten around the paper. Deeper in the backpack, I find a small plastic dinosaur, a half-empty water bottle with a suspicious green tinge inside, and a library book stamped with 4 overdue notices. The overnight bags prove more troubling. I place their contents on my cream area rug, categorizing them by owner. 4 pairs of underwear for Dawson, 3 for Micah. A week's abandonment with barely half a week's clothing. Dawson's socks, 3 pairs total, have worn through at the heels. 1 pair carries the unmistakable stiffness and odor of multiple wearings. I sit back on my heels, breathing through my mouth. The t-shirts come next. Dawson's are faded but passable. Micah's sleeves are frayed, the collars stretched. Both boys have exactly 1 pair of jeans each. Micah's bare department store tags, size 4T. The boy wears at least a 5. Those are new, comes a small voice from the doorway. I startled, turning to find Micah watching me, stuffed dog clutched against his chest. Good morning, sweetie. I'm just putting your things away. His dark eyes track my hands. Mommy bought those for my birthday, but she forgot I growed. When was your birthday, Micah? April. He holds up 4 fingers, then corrects to 5. I'm 5 now. 2 months ago. Tags still attached. Are you hungry? I ask, forcing brightness into my voice. He nods. I can make cereal. I know how. You don't need to make your own breakfast here, I tell him, standing. I'll make something special. How about pancakes? His eyes widen, but uncertainty clouds them. We only get pancakes when Mommy's boyfriend makes them. Which boyfriend is that? I ask carefully, extending my hand. He takes it trustingly. Steve. He was nice. He left a long time ago. In the kitchen, I lift him onto a counter stool. Dawson appears moments later, hair mussed but eyes alert. He glances at his brother, then the ingredients I've assembled. Can I help? He asks, voice deliberately casual. Absolutely. Want to stir the batter? He nods, climbing onto the stool beside Micah. As I crack eggs into a bowl, I ask, do you boys usually make your own breakfast? Dawson's shoulders tense. Sometimes, when Mom sleeps late. And how often is that? He concentrates on the batter, stirring with mechanical precision. Most days, she works nights sometimes. Micah interjects. She sleeps with her door locked. My phone vibrates against the countertop. Julissa's name flashes on the screen. I consider ignoring it, but evidence collection begins now. Good morning, I answered, voice neutral. Hey, sis, Julissa slurs, background noise suggesting a crowded beach. Just checking that everything's cool with my boys. They're fine, I reply, turning away from curious eyes. Though I'm concerned about their clothing situation, Micah's jeans still have tags from his birthday 2 months ago and they're too small. Don't start with me, she snaps. Not everyone can afford fancy clothes like Miss Corporate America. Some of us have real problems. Like affording Greek vacations? I deserve this break after everything I've been through, she hisses. Don't make a big deal out of nothing. I count to 3 silently. Julissa, the boys barely have enough underwear for… Oh, for God's sake, she interrupts. They're boys. They can wear things twice. The call beeps with another incoming call, Mom. Of course. We'll talk later, I tell Julissa, switching lines. Blythe, what's this about you giving Julissa trouble? Mom's accusatory tone slices through pleasantries. Hello to you too, Mom. Julissa deserves this vacation. You wouldn't understand what it's like to be a mother. The familiar dismissal stings less than it used to. I'm looking at evidence of neglect, Mom. The boys make their own breakfast because she locks herself in her bedroom. So dramatic, she scoffs. Just because you schedule your toilet breaks doesn't mean everyone parents by spreadsheet. I watch the boys arranging blueberries into smiley faces on their pancakes. This isn't the first time she's abandoned them, is it? Her silence confirms my suspicion. Who had them last time, you? Their father took them for a few days, she admits reluctantly. Bradley hasn't seen these boys in 3 years, I counter, remembering Julissa's complaints about her ex's absence. Not Bradley, Micah's father. I freeze. Who exactly is Micah's father? More silence. Mom? Victor something. Russian fellow. He and Julissa were together briefly. The pieces click into terrible alignment. And you let her leave the boys with a virtual stranger? He is Micah's father. Does he have legal custody? Any custody? Honestly, Blythe, not everything needs papers and permission slips. My therapist would be proud of how calmly I say, I need to go now before ending the call. When I turn back, both boys have cleaned their plates. Dawson's eyes meet mine with an understanding far beyond his 9 years. Are you going to send us back to Mom? He asks, shoulders already bracing for disappointment. The question settles something inside me. I reach for my laptop. No, Dawson, I'm not. The next day, the fluorescent lights of Target buzz overhead as I guide my cart down the children's clothing aisle. Dawson trails behind me, his fingers skimming across the hanging shirts while Micah clings to my hand with surprising strength for a 6-year-old. Okay, boys, I announce, stopping at a display of graphic tees. You each need to pick out 5 shirts, 3 pairs of pants, and new underwear and socks. Dawson stares at me, brown eyes widening. We can pick them ourselves? Of course. The question squeezes something in my chest. Why wouldn't you? He shifts his weight, tennis shoes squeaking against the polished floor. Mom always just gets whatever's on sale. Sometimes they're too small, but she says we'll grow into them. I swallow hard. Well, today you choose what fits and what you like. Dawson looks at the price tag on a dinosaur t-shirt, then quickly puts it back. How much are we allowed to spend? He asks, voice barely audible. I kneel to his eye level, ignoring the ache in my knees. Dawson, don't worry about the price, just find clothes you'll feel good wearing. His fingers tremble slightly as he reaches for the dinosaur shirt again. Beside me, Micah's grip tightens, his small body pressed against my side. What about you, Micah? See anything you like? He points to a shirt with a cartoon dog that looks remarkably like his stuffed animal. You want to try that on? He nods but doesn't move from my side. I'll come with you, I assure him, realizing he's afraid I'll disappear if he lets go. The thought makes my stomach twist. An hour later, the cart overflows with new clothes, shoes, and necessities. As we pass the toy section, Micah's eyes lock onto a display of action figures, but he says nothing. Dawson tries to hurry him along with practiced efficiency. I stop the cart. Would you like to look at the toys? Their synchronized head shaking doesn't match the longing in their eyes. That night, after they've gone to bed in their new pajamas, I sit at my kitchen table with a color-coded schedule spread before me. Bedtime, 8:30 p.m. Homework, 4 o'clock to 5:30 p.m. Family dinner, 6 p.m. sharp. I need structure to survive this, and so do they. The first week passes in a blur of school registration forms, doctor appointments, and learning curves steeper than I imagined possible. I schedule everything with precision, their lunches packed the night before, clothes laid out, routines established with the rigor of a military operation. On the 5th night, a scream rips through the darkness, yanking me from sleep. I bolt upright, heart hammering against my ribs as I stumble toward the boy's room. Micah thrashes in his bed, small limbs tangled in the sheets, face contorted. No, don't hurt Dawson, please. I gather him into my arms, his body burning hot through his thin pajamas. Micah, wake up. It's Aunt Blythe. You're safe. His eyes fly open, unseeing at first, then focusing on my face. The sob that breaks from him sounds like it's being torn from somewhere deep. The scary man was here. He hiccups against my shoulder. What scary man? I smooth his damp hair from his forehead. Victor, comes Dawson's voice from the other bed. He sits up, knees pulled to his chest. Mom's boyfriend, the big one with the tattoos. I rock Micah gently, his tears soaking through my nightshirt. Did Victor hurt you boys? Dawson's silence speaks volumes. He grabbed Micah once, he finally says. When Mom was sleeping, I tried to stop him. Micah's crying intensifies. Mom's boyfriends come and go, Dawson continues, voice unnaturally flat. Some are mean. I hold Micah tighter, extending my other arm to Dawson. After a moment's hesitation, he slides off his bed and joins us, his thin frame rigid against mine. No one is going to hurt either of you again. I promise, the words burning like a vow. Not while I'm here. Later that week, a package arrives. The boys watch with suspicious curiosity as I place it on the coffee table. This is for both of you, I explain, pushing it toward them. Dawson looks at me, then at the box. Why? Because I thought you might enjoy it. With careful movements, he unwraps the Nintendo Switch and 2 games. Their expressions transform Dawson's controlled mask, cracking into genuine surprise, while Micah bounces on his toes. For real, we can play with it? It's yours, I confirm. Micah's smile is like sunrise breaking through clouds, sudden and transformative. Dawson's comes slower, but when it appears, I realize it's the first real smile I've seen from him. That night, after they've fallen asleep mid-game, controllers still in their laps, I carry them one by one to bed. As I tuck the blanket around Dawson, he stirs. Mom says we're the reason she can't find a good man, he mumbles, eyes heavy with sleep. Too much baggage. I freeze, my hand on his shoulder. That's not true, Dawson. Not even a little bit. But he's already drifted back to sleep, unaware of the rage building in my chest or the tears burning behind my eyes. The next day, I call my office and take a personal day, something I've never done without planning weeks in advance. Instead of spreadsheets and HR policies, I find myself sitting across from Miss Beatty, Senior PD and Sive HR policies. I find myself sitting across from Miss Beatty. Winters, Dawson's 4th grade teacher. He's actually quite bright, she tells me, sliding his assessment across her desk. But his attendance has been spotty, 27 absences last year alone. I make notes in my leather planner, adding another page to the growing documentation. After school, we plant a small vegetable garden in the backyard. Micah giggles as he pats soil around a tomato seedling, dirt smudged across his cheeks. Dawson measures the space between plants with careful precision, following the instructions on the seed packets to the letter. Will we still be here when the vegetables grow? He asks suddenly, patting soil around a bell pepper plant. The question catches me off guard. Do you want to be? He shrugs, but his eyes say everything his words don't. That evening, I call Dr. Morgan, my therapist of 5 years. I never thought I'd be good with children, I admit after updating her on our situation. Maybe because no one ever showed you how, she suggests. But Blythe, from what you're telling me, those boys are flourishing under your care. The following Monday, I sit in the elegant downtown Raleigh office of Eleanor Walsh, family law attorney, whose reputation and fees are equally intimidating. You're building a solid case, she says, reviewing my documentation. School records showing spotty attendance, unsigned homework, the medical reports about Micah's untreated asthma. What are my chances? I ask, fingers tight around my coffee cup. Growing stronger by the day. She slides a stack of forms toward me. But Julissa won't go down without a fight. That night, Landon and I practice potential custody questions via video call. His face fills my laptop screen, serious and supportive. Why should you have custody rather than the boy's mother? He asks, playing the role of a stern judge. I recite my prepared answer, cataloging Julissa's neglect against the stability I offer. "You're doing great," Landon assures me. "Just remember to breathe." On the 10th morning, I'm pouring cereal for the boys when violent pounding shakes the front door. The sound reverberates through the house like thunder. Micah drops his spoon, milk splashing across the table. Dawson goes completely still, his face draining of color. "It's Mom," he whispers. "She's back." The pounding comes again, harder this time, accompanied by a woman's shrill voice. "Blythe, open this goddamn door right now." I reach for my robe, fingers fumbling with the belt as another round of thunderous blows rattles the hinges. Through the bedroom window, I glimpse a black SUV parked at an angle across my driveway, driver's door hanging open. "Coming," I call, voice thin in the morning quiet. The hallway stretches before me. I pause at the boys' room, confirming they're still asleep, Micah clutching his one-eyed stuffed dog, Dawson sprawled with one arm hanging off the mattress. The peephole reveals 3 figures on my porch. My stomach plummets. Julissa stands front and center, hair wild, mascara smudged beneath bloodshot eyes. Mother hovers behind her, arms crossed, mouth pinched. Beside them towers a broad-shouldered man with close-cropped blonde hair, his massive frame dwarfing my sister. I unlock the door but keep the chain fastened, opening it a crack. "What are you doing here?" "Open the damn door, Blythe." Julissa's words slur slightly. "We're taking the boys." "It's not even been 2 weeks. You said November." The man steps forward, shoulder pressing against the door. "Open now." His accent is thick, Eastern European. His eyes lack any warmth or hesitation. "The boys are sleeping. We can talk about this later, after." The door explodes inward. Wood splinters as the chain tears free from the frame. The impact throws me backward against the bookshelf. Pain blooms across my shoulder as the corner digs into muscle and bone. Books tumble, photo frames crash to the floor. I cry out, sliding down the shelf to my knees. "Get the boys, Victor, now!" Julissa's voice rises to a shrill command. The man Victor bounds past me, taking the stairs 2 at a time. Heavy footsteps thunder overhead. My mother stands in the doorway, refusing to meet my eyes. "How could you?" I gasp, struggling to stand. "They were abandoned. I have documentation." "She made a mistake," Mother answers flatly. "They belong with their mother." A high-pitched scream pierces the air, followed by a crash and Dawson's voice. "Get away. Leave us alone." I lunge for the stairs, but Julissa blocks my path, fingernails digging into my arm. "You always want what's mine. First Dad's attention, then that scholarship I deserved. Now my kids." "I didn't want them." The words explode from me. "You left them on my doorstep." A thud sounds upstairs, furniture scraping across hardwood. Dawson must be trying to barricade the door. Victor's voice booms. "Move this now or I break it." More screams. The splintering crack of wood. Micah wailing. Dawson shouting. I wrench free from Julissa's grip and dart for the phone on the side table. Victor appears at the top of the stairs, a child tucked under each arm like packages. Dawson kicks wildly, pajama pants riding up skinny legs. Micah clutches his stuffed dog, face buried against it, shoulders quaking with sobs. "Aunt Blythe, please don't let them take us." Dawson reaches toward me, fingers splayed, desperation in every line of his small body. They storm past me, the boys' bare feet dangling as Victor carries them toward the door. Neither has shoes, coats, or even a change of clothes. "Put them down!" I snatch my phone, fingers already dialing 911. "This is kidnapping." Mother steps aside as they pass. Micah lifts his head, eyes finding mine, terror emptying his face of all color. "Aunt Blythe," his voice, tiny and broken, will haunt my nightmares forever. The operator answers just as the SUV doors slam. 911, what's your emergency?" My voice steadies, clarifies, focuses through the pain radiating from my shoulder. "I need to report a kidnapping." Next week, Monday, the courtroom air hangs heavy with anticipation as the bailiff announces the judge. I straighten my charcoal gray suit jacket and stand with everyone else. Across the aisle, Julissa sits in handcuffs, orange jumpsuit making her look smaller than I remember. Her eyes find mine, and the hatred there stops my breath. All rise for the Honorable Judge Marianne Howell. The charges against my sister sound surreal as they echo through the courtroom. Assault, child endangerment, resisting arrest, attempted kidnapping. When did the girl who borrowed my clothes without asking become this stranger in Prison Orange? Dolores sits 3 rows behind Julissa, her face a mask of practiced concern. She refused to speak to me in the hallway earlier, turning her shoulder when I approached. Now she watches the proceedings with the detached interest of someone viewing a movie rather than her daughter's fate. The prosecutor presents evidence, methodically photos of my bruised shoulder, the damaged bookshelf, Micah's torn pajamas. When the body camera footage plays, showing Victor shoving an officer to the ground while Julissa claws at another's face, I close my eyes. The state calls Delora Winslow to the stand. My head snaps up. Next to me, Eleanor Walshme, attorney, with her immaculate silver bob and take no prisoners attitude, leans forward. Interesting, she whispers. This wasn't on the witness list. Delora approaches the stand looking older than her 63 years, the light catching the deep lines around her mouth. After she swears to tell the truth, the prosecutor steps forward. Mrs. Winslow, please describe your daughter Julissa's state of mind on the morning of the 18th of October. Delora clears her throat. She was angry, said she needed to get her boys back. And did she mention how she planned to do this? A pause. Delora glances at Julissa, then down at her hands. She said Victor would handle anyone who got in the way. Julissa makes a strangled sound. Her attorney places a restraining hand on her arm. And what did you understand that to mean? That he would. Delora swallows hard. Use force if necessary. The testimony continues, each word driving another nail into Julissa's case. Delora describes how Julissa planned to take the boys to Canada. How Victor had connections who could get them across the border without passports. How she'd known about the plan but thought Julissa deserved her children. By the time she steps down, avoiding eye contact with both her daughters, the betrayal is complete. My mother has saved herself by sacrificing Julissa just as Julissa once sacrificed her children by leaving them on my doorstep. The sentencing comes 3 weeks later. 22 years. No parole for the first 10. The sound Julissa makes when she hears the number will haunt my dreams. I should feel vindicated. Instead, I feel hollow. This isn't over, Eleanor says as we exit the courthouse. CPS called this morning. Dawson's biological father has filed for custody. The ground seems to shift beneath my sensible pumps. Bradley Wilson? He's never even met Dawson. Apparently Delora contacted him. Eleanor pulls me away from a reporter trying to catch our conversation. He's claiming he didn't know he had a son until recently. That's impossible. Julissa told me she informed him when she got pregnant. Well, he's got a different story now. Clean-cut, steady job in Charlotte. Wife who stays home. The perfect little family picture. Something cold settles in my stomach. What does this mean for my petition? It means we fight harder. Eleanor squeezes my arm. The hearing is next Friday. Wear the navy blouse with your gray suit. No jewelry except your grandmother's pearls. We want you to look conservative but not cold. The hearing was worse than I imagined that day. Bradley Wilson arrives with his attorney and a woman he introduces as his wife. He wears a crisp button-down and speaks with practiced sincerity about stepping up and doing the right thing. He explains he never knew about Dawson until Delora's recent call. His words smooth as river stones. Judge Harmon peers over her glasses. And you've never paid child support for this child? Your Honor, I can't pay for a child I didn't know existed. His voice carries just the right note of regret. I sit with my hands folded tightly in my lap, thoughts racing toward the boys. They're in a foster home across town, safe but separated from me. Micah had clung to my leg during our last supervised visit, begging to come home. Dawson had grown quieter, his eyes tracking every adult movement as if expecting sudden violence. Given the complexity of this case, Judge Harmon says, shuffling papers, I'm delaying permanent placement pending a full investigation of both households. The children will remain in foster care during this process. The air rushes from my lungs. More waiting, more uncertainty. How long? I whisper to Eleanor as we stand. Could be months, she murmurs back. But don't worry, he won't show up for the next hearing. Men like him never do. The prediction proves true. Over the following year, Bradley Wilson missed 2 more hearings. My apartment walls gradually fill with the boys' artwork from our weekly visits. I bring books, games, and homemade cookies to the sterile CPS visitation room. I document every interaction, every conversation, building my case day by patient day. When Landon surprises me by flying in from Seattle for the 4th hearing, I almost collapse with relief at the sight of him waiting outside the courthouse. His familiar arms around me feel like the first safe harbor I've found in months. I couldn't let you face this alone again, he says against my hair. Inside, Judge Harmon notes Bradley Wilson's absence with a disapproving frown. Eleanor presents our complete evidence. My stable home, income, relationship with the boys, consistent visitation record. The judge reviews the thick case file, glasses perched on her nose. The courtroom falls silent. Full legal custody is granted to Blythe Winslow, effective immediately. The words don't register at first. Then Landon squeezes my hand and I realize we won. The boys are coming home. On the coming home day, the morning light filters through blue curtains I hung last weekend, constellations for Dawson, dinosaurs for Micah. The guest room transformed over months of waiting, from bland beige to vibrant proof of my determination. A room ready for permanent residence. My hands shake as I smooth the quilts one final time. After 593 days of court battles, home studies, and supervised visits at the CPS office, today I bring my boys home. You've got this. Landon's voice comes through my phone speaker, warm despite the 3,000 miles between us. They've been waiting for this day as long as you have. I exhale slowly. What if they've changed too much? What if I'm not what they need anymore? Blythe, he says, the weight of his conviction carrying across the distance. You are exactly what they need, always have been. The drive to the foster home feels eternal. Each traffic light stretches into minutes, each mile a marathon. When I finally pull into the concrete driveway of the small ranch house, my heart hammers so hard I wonder if the social worker will hear it when she opens the door. Martha Daniels appears first, clipboard in hand, professional smile firmly in place. They're ready, she says, stepping aside. And then Micah. His small body barrels through the doorway, dark eyes wide with disbelief that transforms into joy so pure it steals my breath. He launches himself across the walkway and into my arms. You came back! You really came back! His words tumble out between sobs, small hands clutching my shoulders so tightly I'll find tiny fingerprint bruises later. I never left, sweetheart, I whisper into his hair. I was fighting for you the whole time. Dawson appears in the doorway, nearly a foot taller than when Victor carried him screaming from my house. His face is thinner, sharper, eyes wary beneath the overgrown bangs. His fingers work the strap of his backpack, the same nervous habit from that first morning on my porch. I hold out my free arm while still cradling Micah. Room for one more. He moves slowly, fighting for control with each step. When he finally reaches us, he stands rigid for one heartbeat, two then collapses against me with a sound so raw it splits me open. You kept your promise, he chokes out. The drive home fills with Micah's chatter about everything and nothing, while Dawson watches the familiar streets pass with quiet intensity. When we pull into the driveway, both boys fall silent. Welcome home, I say, the ordinariness of the words inadequate for the moment. Inside, they stand in the living room, echoing that first uncertain morning. I lead them upstairs, watching their faces as they discover rooms designed around whispered preferences from our supervised visit space posters for Dawson, dinosaur decals for Micah. This is really ours? Dawson asks, fingers tracing the edge of a desk perfectly sized for his homework. For as long as you want it, I promise. That night, after frozen pizza and ice cream, I bring out a gift-wrapped box for Micah. His small fingers tear away paper to reveal his stuffed dog, the one-eyed companion he'd clutched that first morning, the one Victor had kicked aside during the violent removal. You kept him safe for me? Micah's voice breaks, eyes filling again. I kept everything, I tell them, watching understanding dawn across their faces. I never stopped believing we'd be a family again. Dawson breaks first, tears streaming unchecked. I knew you'd come back for us. The words emerge between sobs as both boys wrap around me on the couch. Everyone else leaves. But not you. I hold them as the sky darkens, feeling pieces I didn't know were missing slide into place. The careful life I built before they arrived seems like a shadow compared to this messy, tearful, beautiful reality. My sister made her choice, and I've made mine.